Back with another episode of Get Xuded. I am your host, xoxuded, and we are going to start today off with a little bit of Bahama drama. And I'm not trying to put that lightly because there is a lady missing in the ocean, and things are looking a little bit fishy, a little bit suspicious for the husband. It's looking a little bit crazy. The story is it's it's unbelievable to say the least. It's something that feels highly unlikely. It doesn't seem plausible. It doesn't feel like a whoopsie. It doesn't feel like an accident. It feels a little bit purposeful, a little bit, I don't know, fabricated, made up. I don't know. I don't know. But the dream of retiring to the Bahamas to live on a yacht is the ultimate middle class fantasy. But for Michigan couple Brian and Lynette Hooker, it has turned into a grim investigation into what actually happens when the cloud meets the current. The couple, known on social media as the Sailing Hookers, were reportedly transiting from Hopetown to Elbow Cay. And just taking a second for their what they're known for on or known as on social media. The Sailing Hookers, that's what we call switching the narrative. That's what we call taking control. Think about how many side eyes, how many smirks, how many comments that they actually had to endure, especially Brian, I'm assuming. He had to grow up with this shit with a last name like Hooker. Lynette had to marry into this. Are you sure you love him? Are you sure you love him? Do you love him though? Are you sure he's the one? Is he your forever person? Are you sure? This is serious, Lynette. This is serious. You're about to take his last name. Are you sure you don't want to hyphenate? Are you sure? What do you? It actually might be worse. Lynette Brown dash Hooker. It might feel more like it's just a description actually. So you're right. You're right. You either are going all in and you're Lynette Hooker, or you call this off because this is a big thing. This is a big thing to just change your name willingly. I mean, feminism, or like the whole feminist movement and all that shit. That's awesome. Women need to love women. They need to see women in power and all of that, the good slogan stuff and all of that. But embracing this. I know they say to embrace like everything, but I thought, aren't what about Lynette sex worker? That feels better. It feels cleaner. You're a sex worker. It's the Lynette sex worker. To take that, to take control. It's called flipping the narrative. It's flipping the script. It's taking control of it and saying, hey, this is who we are. We're hookers. And we sail. We're the sailing hookers. That's just who we are. They were reportedly transiting from Hopetown to Elbow Cay in their 8-foot hard-bottom dinghy at 7:30 p.m. last Saturday when the narrative took a sharp turn away from the curated Instagram feed. Things are about to take a left turn. It's about to get a little bit crazy for the hookers. It's about to get a little bit fucked up for the hookers. And I know the hookers were supposed to have a great life. The hookers were it's something that you honestly looked at them. They were the fantasy. They were the goal. Everybody wanted to be like the hookers. Everybody wanted to fuck with the hookers. We all wanted to fuck with the hookers. Every time the hookers had a party, you wanted to be invited. Anytime the hookers had anything going on, you wanted to say, hey, the hookers wanted me to come, and I'm gonna make it, and I will have like a what is it, like a housewarming gift. I'm gonna bring a bottle of wine. It's gonna be nice. The hookers are gonna like my wine. The hookers are gonna get hopefully drunk with me. I would love to get the hookers drunk. I would love I would love to get to know the hookers. I would love for the hookers to get to know me. I'd love to sit down and talk with the hookers. It doesn't have to always be business with the hookers. I would love to have a personal relationship with the hookers. The hookers, honestly, they're exactly what I wanted to be. When I thought of a sustainable life as an adult, I mean, what more perfect of a picture can you have other than the hookers? So the hookers were everything everybody wanted. You look at the way they curate their Instagram feed, and it's flawless, it's seamless, it's everything that you want. You want to be like the hookers. You want to. So you like their posts. You follow them. You look at their stories. You want to see the hooker stories. The hookers have stories you wouldn't believe. The amount of stories that the hookers produce, it's like the life that they live. It's so, it works. It works. And yeah, you look up to them. You idolize them. You want to be like the hookers. And you tell your kids, hey, if you work hard, you go to school, you get good grades. You put your nose down, keep them in books. One day, you could be like the hookers. And you could sail around. And people are going to be like, wow, you're so cool. You're so cool. The fact that you're constantly with hookers, I just wish that I could be you. And you will be the person that everybody is talking about. And you will be the person that everybody wants to be. Because you will be the one that's constantly with hookers. Everybody wants to be like the hookers. But only you get to. Only you get to be next to the hookers. Only you get to have a relationship with the hookers. Everybody just has a brief run-in with the hookers. Nice little hello, and it's goodbye right after. They don't know the hookers like you know the hookers. It's different. It's on a different level. So taking that narrative, I mean, taking control of that, it's amazing. Everything's about to change. 7:30 on Saturday. According to Brian, Lynette simply bounced out of the boat during some bad weather. She bounced out. I hate it when hookers bounce too much. Sometimes it's like, hey, don't bounce. Don't bounce. Just hold on. Hold on. Let's have some smooth sailing. Okay? But things took a bad turn and she just simply bounced out. Bye, Lynette. Are you sure he's the one? Are you sure he's the one? Are you sure he's the one that you want to be with? Is he worth it? Is he worth becoming a hooker for? Do you want to be Mrs. Hooker? Is he the one? She just bounced out. However, the story enters the realm of the statistically improbable with one specific detail. Brian claims Lynette was holding the only set of ignition keys when she went in. When she hit the water, the engine allegedly died instantly, leaving Brian in a powerless plastic tub while his wife drifted into the dark, unpredictable currents. It happens. It happens. I know what you're thinking. I know. There's no way there's a dead hooker on our hands. There's no way we have a dead hooker. And if anything, everybody should be invested into what happens to a dead hooker. This is just something that happens. It just happens. Okay? It's not, I know you're probably thinking like unbelievable or, a whole bunch of lies, piece of shit, murderer. You might be thinking of all of these things, but you got to think. Brian is a hooker too. Why would he kill his fellow hooker? Why would he kill Mrs. Hooker? Mr. Hooker might be there in the tub with the wife, but he didn't have the set of keys. She did. He wasn't driving this boat. He wasn't the one that made this happen. It's happenstance. It's circumstances that have gone awry. It is just, unfortunately, it's just kind of a little whoopsie daisy that happened. It's just a little accident, a little my bad. Not my bad, obviously. Not my bad. It just happens. You could blame the weather. You could blame God. You could blame, honestly, you could blame Lynette. What you doing? Why are you bouncing around? You just bouncing out. You see the bad weather. You knew this was happening. I mean, you're the sailing hookers. I'm guessing that you maybe checked your weather app. You thought about what would the weather be like when I go out into the vast ocean where there's literal monstrous creatures down there that would eat me alive. Maybe you looked at the weather and you said, hey, the weather might look a little crazy around 7:30. Might take a little bit of a sharp turn. Need to make sure that I fasten myself. Now, I'm out here. Why the fuck am I by the ignition holding the keys? And if I fall, why is my instinct to undo the fucking keys and then fall back with them? Maybe, maybe we're looking at the wrong hooker. I'm just speculating. I'm not accusing, I'm not saying anything, but maybe Brian was just he was chilling. He was the good hooker and he was chilling. And things took a sharp turn. And unfortunately, somebody just started bouncing around, feeling a little bit unbalanced, feeling like they might go overboard, might go topside, might have to walk the fucking plank. And guess what? What if Mrs. Hooker said, "You are gonna die with me? You're going down with me. If I am going in this ocean, there's no way that he's gonna come in after me. So I'm gonna die. So I'm gonna take the keys so that he's stranded here too." Maybe. We're just grasping at straws here. We're just trying to figure out what may have happened. Just trying to figure it out. Maybe it wasn't one of those things where he'll go down with me. Maybe it's like, okay, he won't go and save me, so I grab the keys. It's real quick. You're bouncing. You just undo it real quick. This is all in like a 0.2 of a second. You know, you just take that shit in a few milliseconds and you fall back with it. You go into the ocean and you got the keys. Why do you bring the keys? Well, he might not come in for me, but he's gonna come and get these keys. Don't you want to leave? Don't you want to leave? Don't you want to leave? This may have been something that maybe this isn't the first time. Maybe they've been in this situation before. I'm going to the bar. Oh, you're gonna go to the bar? I got the keys. How you gonna go? How you gonna go to the bar? Nobody wants to see a hooker at a bar. Okay? The hookers stay at the house where they're supposed to be. The hookers stay inside. The hookers don't go out to the bar. The hookers stay inside. Nobody wants a hooker in their public facility. You need to leave. You need to actually not even go. You need to stay here. I got the keys. Where you gonna go? Maybe this was something that they've dealt with before. Maybe she's like, "Hi, bitch. Where you gonna go? Where are you gonna go? I got the fucking keys to the boat. Where you gonna go? How you gonna leave?" I don't know. It's tragic to say the least when somebody just whoopsie bounces out. You're known as the sailing hookers. A little bit of bad weather and bounced out. Maybe it's one of those things. It's the luck of the draw. It's like Russian roulette. You don't have 6 bullets in the chamber. You got like 150, 200. But goddamn, every time you go out there, you're just playing with the fucking odds. Maybe, just maybe, you get the wrong fucking current, the wrong fucking storm, and you just bounce out. Accidentally take the keys, and now your husband's out there stranded in an 8-foot boat. Maybe. I mean, statistically improbable. I could see why somebody might say that. I could see why somebody's saying that in the moment of falling, the fact that she took the key out and the engine allegedly died instantly, which that's how you know she had to actually turn it. Because you might have been like, well, how do you know she turned the key? Maybe she was already holding the key, and when she fell out, whoops, it just came out with her. No, because in his story, he says the engine died instantly. Okay, so the engine was running, sir. Oh, don't worry. Things are looking a little bit suspicious. A little bit fishy for Mr. Brian. Mr. Hooker. Nobody wants to think about hookers doing crimes. Nobody thinks that a hooker is doing any crimes. I mean, they're the hookers. They're the epitome of excellence. It's what everybody looks at. When you go to Instagram, you want to go look at the curated feed of the sailing hookers. You want to see what the hookers are up to. As soon as you go to Instagram, you want to see, hey, what's going on with the hookers? I'm a little bit bored. I'm going on Instagram. I'd love to see a picture of a hooker. It would be amazing. So honestly, maybe we should give them some benefit of the doubt. Maybe this did happen. Maybe she was able to just turn off the fucking boat, fall with it, and splash into the ocean, and then just go into the dark, into unpredictable currents. And I understand, maybe not everybody would jump into the ocean for a hooker, but I think Brian owed it to Lynette. I think Brian should have tried to save that hooker. I think maybe if your hooker bounces out, you try to get her back in. Maybe just to make sure. I don't know where the ethical line is here. I'm not sure. Instead of a high-speed rescue or an immediate distress signal, Brian says he spent the next 8.5 hours paddling and drifting through the night, eventually reaching a marina at 4 a.m. to report her missing. He paddled for 8.5 hours. That's a strong hooker right there. That's a strong, determined hooker right there. He paddled for 8.5 hours because she just bounced out with the keys. And he gets there at 4 a.m. and he reports her missing. Guys, you'll never believe it. She just bounced out. The authorities were skeptical enough of this 9-hour gap that the Royal Bahamas Police Force arrested Brian Hooker on Wednesday evening. Can you imagine a police officer arresting a hooker? A hooker. So they arrest him on Wednesday evening, taking him into custody as a suspect. The U.S. Coast Guard has since opened a criminal investigation into the disappearance. Can you imagine a police department looking into the disappearance of a hooker? I don't know. This feels like some Twilight Zone shit. I feel like, I don't know. The perfect life portrayed in their social media branding has been further complicated by statements from Lynette's daughter, who described the couple's relationship as volatile and plagued by a history of alcohol-fueled conflict. Shit is getting crazy. Lynette's daughter. Does that mean that one of the hookers had a daughter and that's not Brian's daughter? It's just hers. Who could imagine a hooker with a daughter? I couldn't. Are you sure? Mom, are you sure he's the one? Are you sure he's worth it? It's worth it. It's worth it? You love him. Okay. Hi guys, this is my mom, Mrs. Hooker. She said that their relationship was volatile and plagued by a history of alcohol-fueled conflict. And there's nothing that mixes better with sailing out into the ocean than alcohol-fueled conflict. This is the perfect recipe. You have alcohol, conflict, middle of the ocean, hooker. I feel like it was one of those things where you're gonna end up with a dead hooker. It's one of those things. You're gonna have one that just bounces out, just a little oopsie daisy. She noted that her mother was an experienced sailor who didn't just fall off boats, and pointed to past incidents of violence as a reason to look closer at the tragic accident narrative. She is the sailing hooker. She is super experienced. She is an excellent swimmer, and she doesn't just fall off boats. Can you explain that to me? Can you explain how she just bounced out? She just fell off the boat. She just didn't hang on. She was like, I'm going to hang on to something and it's going to be the keys. Oh no, I'm falling. Let me turn it. Oh no, that's what got me out. And that is the way that the hooker died. I don't know. It feels a little bit suspicious. It feels a little bit wrong, but maybe I got something wrong. Maybe there's something that I'm missing. So let's go straight to the Bahamas and see it for ourselves.
New clues in the search for the American woman missing in the Bahamas. Her husband told police she fell overboard. Local police weighing in. Victor Kendo's in the Bahamas with the latest. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, George. This search now entering its fourth day. Teams have been pouring over this entire area by air, land, and sea, deploying drones and divers. Still no sign of Lynette Hooker.
They've been diving for the hooker. They've been traveling through airs and seas for this hooker. They've been looking for this hooker. They've been searching for this purebred American hooker. They need this missing American hooker that's tragically gone in the Bahamas. They've been looking.
This morning, new details about the desperate search for missing American Lynette Hooker. Her husband, Brian Hooker, telling authorities his 55-year-old wife vanished at sea in the Bahamas, falling overboard Saturday night. Overnight, Bahamian police confirming they still consider this a search and rescue operation.
She's out there.
Efforts so far have spanned land, sea, and sky, using drones, divers, and help from the U.S. Coast Guard.
We'll find the hooker.
Drifted off because of the strong weather, the strong winds and the strong current.
Lynette's husband telling authorities he and his wife left Elbow Key Saturday evening on an 8.5-foot dinghy to head back to their sailing yacht named Soulmate. But they encountered poor weather. Brian saying his wife fell overboard along with the boat key and the engine shut off. Lynette's daughter, Carly, describing what he told her.
He said that my mom's missing and that she fell out of the boat and that.
Oh my gosh! Let's take a moment and we'll go back a little bit. Let's take a moment for this poor girl that's literally having to look to the side to try and find a rational reason why this would happen. Trying to even comprehend what she's been told. This is the story we have. All we know is that my mom goes out there. She's with this guy. He's got a violent past. He gets volatile. Things get alcohol fueled. It gets rough. And now you're telling me that she just bounced over. You can see the disbelief in her face. The fact that hasn't fully processed it. That she hasn't fully come to grips that the guy that made her mom take the last name Hooker may have actually killed her. It's one of those things. Like, are you sure? Is he worth it? Is he the one? Did he kill her? These are things where it's just like you don't want to have to think about that.
He threw a life jacket to her or something, and he doesn't know if she got it or not. But then
I don't know.
Paddled the shore.
Brian making it back to Marsh.
I don't know if she got it. I don't know. I threw it. Just she took the key. Everything just happened in a split second. She was over there. She was by the ignition. The boat was running while she was holding the key. I don't know. But she turned it off. She fell. I'm telling you the same story. I've told them 1,000,000 times. I don't know what more you want me to tell you. I wasn't drinking. We weren't fighting. I promise. She just bounced off. And when she bounced, I threw it to her. And I don't know if she got it. I don't know where I threw it. I'm not sure if I threw it towards her, into a different direction. It was dark. It was, I don't know. But she took the key. The boat stopped immediately, which means, the engine stopped, which means you would think that I would have heard her splashing about, calling for help, anything that would say that there is some source of life. But I don't know. I threw it to her. I threw it to what I thought was her. May have been her. She may have got it. I think she got it. In my mind, she did catch it. And that's why they're still out there. That's why these strong currents that they're saying can just take somebody. It's okay. Because she may have gotten this flotation thing that may or may not keep her alive. I'm not sure. It was dark. I don't know if I mentioned that. But I did have to paddle. I paddled because she just took the key from me. I don't know if you remember that. I know you might find that this whole thing is a little bit hard to believe. But she took the key from me.
Harbor, where he reported Lynette missing around 4 a.m. Easter Sunday.
We're on a ferry from Marsh Harbor to Elbow Key. This ride normally takes about 20 minutes. It took Lynette's husband more than 8 hours.
The couple were avid sailors.
And you know what he was saying by that? By the way he said it. It's just like a 20-minute boat ride. And it took her husband more than 8 hours. You don't just put the inflection up on your voice like that for nothing. You don't just say more than 8 hours. It took us just 20 minutes. And for her husband, more than 8 hours. He was paddling by hand. Have you ever seen a paddling hooker? Have you ever seen a hooker have to swim? Have you ever seen a hooker try to swim for their life in the dark while the other hooker that they were with, it's just gone into the darkness? It's hard, okay? It's something that not everybody is equipped to deal with. So forgive me if I didn't paddle fast enough, okay? I got as fast as I could. And I don't know where my phone is. There was no signal. There was no way I would be able to call anybody. There was no way that I was going to be able to just jump in and try to save my wife. There was no way that I was going to go in and try to save my wife. There was no way. There was no way. You couldn't expect that from me. You couldn't. There's no way that I would be paddling around with the same thing that I was able to paddle to shore with. There's no way that I would just paddle around in that area and maybe even put the paddle in the water to see where the current's pushing, to see if my wife has been pushed in that same direction. There's no way that I'd be able to do that. I'm going to spend 8.5 hours and I'm going to make my way to shore. And I think by then, 4 a.m, there's going to be somebody there to help. God willing, there's going to be somebody to help Mrs. Hooker. There's going to be somebody. Somebody's going to care about a drowning hooker. Somebody's going to care. And they're going to jump into action. They're not going to look at me. They're not going to say, hey, you should have been Mr. I'm going to save my wife. Or Mr. Hey, let me put her life before mine. Or hey, think about your vows, mister. Or hey, don't murder anybody, mister. They're not going to think about that. They're going to think, wow, that guy right there, I'm not going to say hero, but he did something heroic. You know, there's something where heroes don't wear a cape, and they might not even label themselves as a hero. They might not even feel like they are a hero. They might not be a hero. They just do heroic things sometimes. There's a little bit of hero in all of us. That man right there, 8.5 hours, he came all the way back to shore to make sure that his wife would be okay. He wanted to make sure that everything would be all right. And
documenting their travels on social media. Their dinghy seen here. Carly says her mom was fit and a good swimmer. Now, in a statement, she is calling for a full and complete investigation into her disappearance.
I just hope we find her.
And Bahamian police are asking anyone with any information to contact them.
Yeah, and I can't just move past the fact that they used the daughter. I understand. This is a sad moment. We don't need any of these tricks in order for us to feel bad about the missing hooker. You don't need to come in with a little voice note from her daughter. I just hope somebody will find her. Of course, her daughter wants her to be found. Of course. You don't need some young lady right here saying that she wants her mom to be found. We know. We as America, we know. You don't have to tell us this. You don't have to make it seem like it's something that we wouldn't care about. Of course, we're going to care about the missing hooker. Of course. And when it comes to this other Brian Hooker, I guess we're just going to have to see what a jury says. We're going to have to see what Mrs. Hooker says, because we will find her. And on the real, for real, I do hope she gets found. But damn, I don't know how long you can just survive, even if you did get the life raft thing. I don't know.
You say you want us, you say you love me, you say that you was mad and you said words you didn't mean. Don't even apologize. I've seen this too many times before. You say you want us and you love me, you was just mad, you said words you didn't mean. Don't even apologize. I've seen this too many times before. Back when we met, life was so simple. Now in the end, we got too many issues. I'm done saying I'm done. sorry. You said last time was the last time you lied. Yeah, you lied again, of course you crossed the line again. How could I be so naive? You play me like a violin. Now I'm feeling stupid and just dumb enough to try again. You got me addicted, guess I'll OD one more time again. One more time again.
The Vatican has officially entered the chat regarding the U.S.-Israel conflict with Iran, and they aren't exactly offering a blessing. Pope Leo, the first American to hold the keys to St. Peter's, is currently using his social media account to remind world leaders that God isn't actually a fan of Operation Epic Fury. And I know what you're thinking. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that God doesn't like just senseless murder? God doesn't like it when innocent people die. God doesn't like it when anybody dies. Who would have thought? I don't know. I don't know. But just in case anybody needed a reminder, the Pope decided to just put that message out. Like, hey, by the way, I hear a lot of people bringing my guy into this. And that's capital G, my guy. Okay, so I don't know where the disconnect is, but he doesn't really sponsor this shit that y'all are pushing. He's not really on board with the things y'all are doing. He gave you guys free will, but that doesn't mean that he wants to will this into existence. It's just something that unfortunately happened. In a sharp rebuke of the current administration's rhetoric, Leo declared that God does not bless any conflict, effectively trying to pull the rug out from under the divine backing narrative being promoted in Washington. The tension stems from a growing trend of scriptural justification for the war. While Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has been framing the military strikes in Iran as a holy mission carried out in the name of Jesus Christ, the Pope is countered by pointing out that the Prince of Peace generally doesn't favor dropping bombs on civilian infrastructure. And it's a shocker to say the least. It's changed the foundation of my belief system because, I mean, if there was a God, I thought that he would be on board with all of this shit. I thought he would be completely on board with bombing children and elderly and women and honestly just innocent people. And we always put all of these characteristics around people to try to make them worse. It's like the sick and the people in the hospital. It's like just bombing people. Like I would have thought that yeah, if God exists, there's 100% certainty that they're gonna be like, yeah, do that. That's the reason why I did this. The whole reason why I created you was so you could destroy it all. That's it. You figured out the game. You passed the test. It's like you having to stand up to the teacher, and that's how you get the A. Yes, good job. You win. That's how I set this up. And I don't know. I don't understand why this is not true. This is something that they're not on board with. Okay, so God is saying like, okay, don't just murder people. Don't just willy-nilly bomb people just because you want to show a source of strength and power and all of that stuff. This divine disagreement reached a boiling point after President Trump's recent ultimatum, where he warned that a whole civilization will die tonight if Iran didn't comply with his demands. Pope Leo, apparently not a fan of apocalyptic deadlines, called the threat truly unacceptable and reminded everyone that international law still exists, even when you're convinced you have a mandate from heaven. Hey, you're kind of like a false prophet right now, is what he's trying to say. He's kind of like, he's kind of calling Trump fake as fuck and his whole entire administration. Like you're trying to, what's it called? Like appropriation. You're doing like some Christian or Catholic appropriation, man. Get your hands off of our religion. Get your hands off of our God. Get your hands off. What are you talking about? The fact that this is a real thing. The fact that people are actually, I don't know, maybe they don't believe this, but they sure seem to believe the words that they say. They sure seem to believe that this is some sort of I don't know, higher power acting through Trump to demolish an entire civilization. And obviously, thank God, he did not go through with that. It had people that don't even really pay attention to politics paying attention, like, hold on, what's happening? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Cause it just feels like we're getting slapped around all because y'all motherfuckers are doing a dick measuring contest. And now I'm wondering what I'm getting slapped around by. Cause that's how it feels. It feels like I'm getting fucked over. It feels like everybody's getting fucked over just because people want to play mine. It's mine. It's my resources. It's my stuff. I'm the big guy. And it's something that just continuously happens. It's like that's what people always think. It's just like that. We're just gonna always be at war. It's just like it feels like it's just an inevitability, like just a part of life. Like, you know what I mean? You take a breath, you see the sunshine, you see the moon at night, and there's gonna be war somewhere in the world constantly. I don't know. Maybe it's not one of those extremist things. We always look at people like suicide, like bombers, people that put on the vest and they do it for the 72 virgins or whatever the fuck. We look at them like they're these, I don't know, maybe the royal whatever. I feel like it's like a stereotype where they're looked at as these extremists that have no rational thought. They're just like blowing themselves up, and they're just like, what? You're blowing yourselves up? And it's like, you really believe it, and this is all for your God, and you really think, you know what I mean? We look at them like, it's like, oh, you're not quite all there. And yet, what, you're gonna turn around and say the same thing? And, well, I'm not bombing myself, I'm bombing them. I'm just bombing children. I'm just bombing, hospitals and bridges and power, whatever the fuck. Like, I'm just bombing shit. I'm not bombing myself. That's stupid. My God wouldn't want that, dummy. My God wants me to live so I can enact more destruction. That's why we are here. I don't know. Maybe the Pope is onto something. Maybe. Like I said, you got people like the Pope. Actually, I don't even know. Is the Pope like political? Does the Pope be getting into politics like that? Does he put his 2 cents in? Is the Pope known for stuff like that? I know the church used to run a lot more, but when it comes to politics, especially now in the modern political landscape, does the Pope, is he known traditionally for being a part of that? Is this something that this new Pope does? It's because I'm an American? Is that why? I don't know. Maybe this Pope is just like that. Or maybe this is something where it's like, hey man, you're drawing the line. You're doing some crazy shit. And then you're saying it's in the name of God? You're saying like you were chosen? Bitch, you wasn't chosen for shit. And if I wasn't the Pope, I would tell you this in a lot more ratchet of a manner. But I'm the Pope now. You know what I'm saying? I gotta represent. We are now witnessing the bizarre spectacle of the American president and the American Pope fighting over who gets to speak for the Almighty in a war zone. And I'm just gonna say, if we're going to choose, I don't really care. I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not Catholic. I'm not Christian. I'm not religious per se. So, I mean, I guess maybe I shouldn't have a vote. But if I were to, just, hear me out. My 2 cents for what it's worth. The American president versus the Pope. I'm going to give it to the Pope. The Pope probably should have a little bit more say. Now, if you said, hey, American politics, American laws and legislation and shit like that, who should have more say? I'd be like, hey, maybe the president should, even if it is somebody that we don't want to be in there. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of a part of it. It's like, it is what it is. There's always trade-offs. That every president's going to do shit you don't like and do shit you do like. It's just kind of is what it is. But why would the Pope have anything to do with it? That's how this nigga, the Pope, is feeling. Say, hey, bro, I don't tell you how to do your job. You coming over here talking about God this and God that. Keep my God's name out your motherfucking mouth. That's all I gotta say. We'll be good. We'll be good. We'll be good if you can do that. If you can do that. We are now witnessing the bizarre spectacle of the American president and the American Pope fighting over who gets to speak for the Almighty in a war zone. Who can say the president? Who can just sit there and be like, yes, this Jesus sent you. Fuck like if you were this person, like I feel like these people are so on a team that they're like, fuck the Pope, fuck him. My guy is sent by Jesus. The Pope, nope. I don't care. Fuck the Pope. Nope to the Pope. I don't know. It's a no for the Pope for me. I'm gonna say we're gonna get it. This is our country now. I don't know. I can't even articulate how chosen I feel like our president is. I mean, it makes me want to. I wish I was smart enough to be one of those doctors that could like diagnose or examine somebody's brain after they died, because somebody needs to, like, on some science experiment type shit, like figure out what makes these people run. And it turns out it actually is the same thing that makes all of us run. Some of us are even worse, but some people are so attached to their ideas and being on a team and like that tribal thinking that they really will justify anything. They really will find a way to feel righteous in any act of terror. It's something that everybody, I think, is capable of. You know, like if we feel justified. It's like I could never even think about like just doing something that would murder all these innocent people and all of that. It's like, but at the same time, it's like I feel like a lot of, especially like parents or really just like men, fathers, husbands, it's like, let somebody come in and try to hurt me and mine though. Let somebody try to come in and hurt my family. It's like, now I'm feeling a little bit different about murder. I'm feeling a little bit different about how far I'm willing to take it when it comes to hurting you. It's like we all have something inside of us that can make us justify terrible things if they're under the right circumstances. It just gets scary when people use religion. It gets scary when people, they try to put God next to everything they do in order to feel like it's the right thing. While the administration paints a picture of a reborn nation fueled by divine providence, the Vatican is busy reminding us that blood-drenched hands don't make for very effective prayers. That's a fucking bar. Blood-drenched hands don't make for very effective prayers. That's some bars. That's good. I don't know. That's like one of those mic drop moments where it's like, ooh, shit. Pray to your God now, bitch. Ooh. And just in case you were opposed to this war, though, just in case you don't enjoy our government bombing innocent people, just in case you're not for us fighting all of these wars in another country for seemingly no reason and being lied to about it in the process. If you don't like it, it's okay. We have a solution. And by we, I mean us as the collective, the government, your overlord, your protector. The federal government has quietly streamlined the process of turning the nation's youth into tactical assets. Starting this December, the U.S. is officially moving to an automatic military draft registration system. The days of having to remember to sign up for Selective Service at the post office are over. The government has decided to handle the paperwork for you, ensuring that no 18-year-old is left behind when the subscription to national defense inevitably renews. If you are old enough, guess what? We're there for you. Automatically drafting people into the military, automatically signing up people for the draft, rather. It's one of those things where you want to believe it's almost in the past. Isn't this something that was like, didn't Muhammad Ali have a moment over this? Like, we realize as a culture, like, there's enough people that are serving in order to like justify this, right? And then especially like if we have to, you know, all of us are fighting, this is for our country, shouldn't that be more like somebody's invading? This is like existential. It feels like we might die if we don't fight. So it's fight. Of course, we have to stand up for our country. But you starting wars that people aren't even wanting to be a part of and have been opposed to. And for my entire life, I feel like this is the narrative I've been hearing. And apparently even before that, like basically since fucking Vietnam, people have been like, hold on, what are we doing? These people are getting rich while Americans are dying and we're killing other people, and it's all for nothing. Nothing actually changes. It's literally for what? What's happening? Well, now, if you are opposed to it, it doesn't matter. If shit actually hits the fan, you don't have to sign up. You don't have to. Don't worry. Don't worry. The government, your overlord, has decided that you are going to be in the system. And under this new system, the Selective Service system will use federal databases, everything from the DMV to the IRS, to automatically enroll every male between the ages of 18 and 25. And I don't want to say sexist, but I can't think of anything else, so it feels really fucking sexist. Only males? 18 to 25? What happened? What happened? What happened? I thought it didn't matter. I thought it didn't matter. Since when? It's men and women. We have men and women soldiers. Why just the men? I don't understand. It feels a little bit sexist. I don't know. Maybe. No, I really just shouldn't think about this like off the cuff because it's a crazy idea. But maybe, fuck it. I'm gonna put it out there since I've already started. Maybe, whether you're male or female, maybe we shouldn't just automatically sign people up to the military like this is some fucking communist country. Maybe we should act like we are not under a dictatorship. Maybe we should not pretend like we are constantly at some existential risk from all of these invading countries when we haven't had any countries invading us. Maybe we're not at the point where we just need to sign people up. I don't know. It feels like it's just bad timing with this whole war in Iran thing. The war that's not a war or whatever. But it just feels like bad timing. Oh, the youth, they don't fuck with us. They don't want to do these wars. They don't like that we're doing bidding for Israel, or they don't like the Israel lobby or shit like that. It's okay. It's okay. They ain't got no fucking choice. And every single year, we're going to have a new generation that, boop, pops in the line. And then next year, boop, next year, it's going to keep coming. It's going to keep coming. And as people phase out, they might say, hey, you know what? I've already done a little bit of time. Or maybe we're just blowing this out of proportion. It's not actually going to happen. Nobody's going to get drafted. They're just changing the years. It's just getting with the times. It's just automatically doing it because, let's face it, nobody is just selectively, going to sign up for the draft. If they were selecting to do that, they would just join the military. And I understand why you might feel a little bit skeptical, a little bit hesitant to believe the government, but they are your overlords and they love you. It's the ultimate frictionless user experience. You don't have to opt in, you don't have to fill out a form, and you certainly don't have to think about it. You just exist, and the algorithm does the rest, checking your name off a list so that if a global conflict breaks out, the logistics are already handled. And you don't have to worry. If you want to avoid this, good luck. Good luck. We're using things like the DMV and the IRS. You think you can get away with not having a license just because we have, Waymos and shit like that? You got your Ubers and everything. Try not to make money. And if you do make money, try not to do the fucking taxes. You don't want to pay taxes? Well, guess what? You're going to jail. You're going to go to jail for that. And if you don't go to jail for that, you're going to go to jail for being a draft dodging fucking commie. You fucking hippie. Put your boots on and go to work. While the administration frames this as a simple bureaucratic modernization to save money and increase compliance, it also happens to be the most efficient way to ensure the military has a complete list of personnel ready to go. See, I think we do have a lot of soldiers, but I think this is one of those things where they realize that they're gearing up to be more and more controlling. They're going to be more and more limiting as far as the power that they have over us. The government is going to use technology to constantly surveil us. They're going to constantly try to control every single action that we do. And because of this, there's going to be a natural pushback. There's going to be more and more information that gets out there. So that's why they're already noticing that the younger generations are already blackpilled. They're already starting to lose trust. They're already, after COVID especially, like everybody's like, oh, fuck the government. They're losing control. And because they're losing control, they're thinking already 10 steps ahead in the future. All right, well, if we've already lost the millennials, the older and younger millennials, and maybe even some of the Gen Xers, we've lost the Gen Zers, the Gen Alpha and underneath, they probably aren't even paying attention. But who's going to be raising these people? Well, it's going to be the people we just listed. And because of that, they're going to raise them to question the government and stuff like that. Well, we can't give them a choice. Who's going to be affected by this? Everybody that is going to actually say something, that can do something, well, you're probably past the threshold. And if not, what are you really going to do? Down with the government. Take back. Don't do it. Change the year. Change the age limit. What are you going to fucking do? What you going to fucking do? This nigga was chosen by God. What you gonna do? I think it's one of those things where they're playing chess. And if you think it's about the 18 to 25-year-olds right now, I think you're missing the point. It's about the 18 to 25-year-olds in 18 to 25 years. It's the people that haven't been born yet. The ones that are going to be fully ingrained and raised with the idea that, hey, you have the power to go get information. You have the power to say, wait a minute, just because you're the government doesn't mean you're right. Just because you're the government doesn't mean you have my best interest. And you're able to have the information at your fingertips to show all the proof that this is the case. It's not going to be just a conspiracy theory for them. It's going to be a doctrine, a way that they're actually raised. And it's not going to be everybody. It's not going to be. But it's going to be a larger percentage than there was before, and it's going to continue to dwindle more and more down, where people are going to be completely compliant with their government. Even people that are serving their country, they don't look at it like they're serving their government. They're serving their country. They're serving their family, and they still question their government. Obviously, you do have soldiers and people in all different industries that are just going to walk the line and they're going to follow whatever it is. But there's going to be more and more people that say, hold on, wait a minute. And because of that, maybe they need to already start thinking about how they're going to control things. And maybe I'm just being dramatic. Maybe I'm just being too much. I'm being overzealous with these dystopian futures that aren't going to actually happen. They're not actually going to come into fruition. This isn't going to be something that we have to live with. It's make-believe. It's make-believe. And maybe that will help us sleep at night. But I don't know. I don't want to tell you how I think it should be. I'm going to tell you how I think it will be. And yeah, I think they're going to do everything. They're going to do everything to get more and more control. And we're probably just going to fucking let them. Sometimes it'll be like this, where we have nothing. Sometimes it'll just be because it's more convenient. It's the final evolution of the administrative state, a world where your personal data isn't just being sold to advertisers, it's being used to ensure you're pre-registered for the next major ground war. As we move into 2027, the government is making sure that the transition from high school graduate to government property is as seamless and invisible as possible. So buckle up, America needs you.